From the IG, I was just talking like a good student of constitutional law. Article 245 of the Constitution. Only two people can direct the IG.
That's a downscaling.
No, I don't have the answer. Maybe you can call the IG.
Waziri, as much as, of course, as clearly put, the CS not only advises or supervises the IG on matters policy, but considering that this is a question that was asked by the member in Parliament, I can understand he's trying to say that the IG is supposed to have furnished the CS with the answer. And when Waziri, knowing that, of course, Fafi is one of the most troubled constituencies areas in this country, I think it will have been just fair enough to really go down, get to know exactly what necessitated the discharge of this NPR, considering these are volunteers, that in any way are not even probably having, putting a cost on the government, and they are doing a good job. And I'm sure by the time they were recruited, they may have gone through, or they must have gone through the vetting. So kindly, if probably the IG did not, we can still allow you to get more precise, accurate answer for the member, so that at least we can really get the answers we sought.
Point of order, Chair. Chair, in terms of parliamentary procedure, we ask the minister, the CS, to appear before the committee, because the CS is the overall, both in policy and supervision of a ministry. A departmental head can give that information to the CS. And I thought you should clarify, Chair, the point the honorable member was bringing up, and the response from the CS that that is not his work, it should be asked to the IG. I think it is not in order. Maybe, Chair, you could clarify that, so that additional information, if it's not available, the CS should be able to get from the officers.
I think I've given a direction. When a CS, I think, in due fairness, it should have been fair to say that you have not been
getting the information from the IG. I was just talking like a good student of constitutional law. Article 245 of the Constitution. Only two people can direct the IG. One is DPP on matters of investigation. The second one is the Interior Minister on matters of security policy. That is paragraph 3 and 4. Then 5 goes on to even say, notwithstanding these directives, no person may direct the Inspector General on the recruitment, assignment, promotion of any particular officer. So I just wanted to say that I have that constitutional contour to manage, but generally I have the information, I can get it. I have very good working relations with the IG and everybody else, and I don't think there is anything secretive about it. It's security information which is for the good of the people of Fafi. I can get it, maybe the timeline, Chair, if you give me the timeline so that I can comply.
Chair, if I can say something. First of all, I'm Rosa Kenyibuyu, Member of Parliament of Kisumu West Constituency. Chair, I think the response by the CS is arrogant. Arrogant and demeaning and dismissive. Really, if we wanted to ask the IG, we would have requested the IG to come here. But because he's in charge of that ministry, and a question had been given to him, we expected that he would get answers from his officers, so that when he comes here, he gives a suitable answer. But to direct the Member of Parliament to go and call the IG, I think that's arrogant and not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe, Waziri, I think you are appearing before this committee, and the committee asking you question to do with internal security. Yes, you are not the IG, but you are the policy head of that institution called national security. I don't want to travel that side. The question I want to pursue is that of Ijara and Fafi. The reason why you give NPR is because there is gap in security, and the police are not enough to really do policing to protect lives and property. The fundamental question the Honorable Member should have asked, which I want to put to you, is there still need for NPR in those two constituencies where the problem of Al-Shabaab actually is current, it is also fluid, and it is existential, that some of these members are not able to travel freely in their constituencies just because of fearing for their own security. Maybe that is the line we want to pursue with you. Thank you, Chair.
Lastly, maybe you can.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, Bonasias, if in Fafi and Ijara and all other border towns, if there were 21 NPRs and you withdraw 16, meaning there are only 5 remaining, according to me, that is suicidal, extremely dangerous. What measures do you have to curb the insecurity and the problems that we have in those areas?
Chair. Sarah, then Balosi, then we.
Chair, in regard with NPR, I think even as Waziri attempts to answer the question on disciplinary, I am a witness that NPR really helps in security. And I also don't dispute the fact that they should be vetted, trained, and equipped. But again, Waziri, they say justice delayed is justice denied. And in Swahili, they say ngoja ngoja umiza matumbo. So if at all they have to do all those processes, they have to fast track it. Because as we continue to delay them, then the mwananchi continues to suffer.
Chair, Mwanasias, I think I also want to concur with my colleagues on the role played by the NPRs in securing the country. And I think for my colleague from Fafi, he would like to know, and I also would like to know, how long it will take to fast track this 16 the gap which we have now in that area, so that he can be able to tell his constituents. Thank you, Chair.
I think we should, so that Jacob, you have something to add?
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you, members, for coming in with that. I don't know why the Waziri was a bit dismissive of my whatever, but it's okay. The CS said the gap is known. It's 250. In fact, it's in its table because there's one time with the RC and 250 was recommended in 2023 January. Up to now, nothing was recruited in the entire FAFI. They only have 58 members, NPRs now in the entire FAFI constituency. 16 now gone. That's the situation in FAFI. The second thing the CS said is they were replaced by the 17 I mentioned. But now that he's saying this is an IG thing, I don't know whether I can continue with the question, because is he sure that those are the 17 to replace? Because these 17 were recruited in 2024 and the 16 were recruited in 2011. The 16 are in Galmagala division, close to Somalia border, controlled from there. The 17 were recruited base in Balambala, controlled by SOG camp in Balambala. So surely, is that a replacement? Or is two different forces in two different constituencies? It's not. That's why I said when I raised this question, I told you what we receive is a table, a laptop answers. I don't know whether you will bring the IG so that we can ask these technical questions.
Maybe, Honorable Member, the Waziri is here because of your question. Ask the question and say what is the problem, so that we can
the question
get a solution.
Thank you, sir. The question I'm
maybe just to guide Yakub, first, you have even noted that actually on basis of priority, we prioritize the question of Avi because we appreciate how trouble it is. And in many occasions, you had even confided to me that you at times even don't even visit your constituency because of insecurity issues. So kindly just ask the question.
The question is,
let me finish.
Yes.
If in a situation whereby you're not satisfied or the CS does not have maybe the response, we will of course agree with him to conduct his officers, that is of course the IG, and still furnish this committee with the responses.
Bwana CS, are those 17s who are now working with OCG Raya, is that a replacement or not? Because there are two different places, two different constituencies, 600 apart, 600 kilometers apart. That's my the question. And then on the 17 itself, are you aware that out of these 17, 2 of them, because they are now on the payroll of the government as SOG workers from Raya, and they have no guns for the last 2 years. Are you aware that 2 of them have been hunted down in their homes and killed? And if yes, what action is the ministry doing in relation to that? Lastly, I asked you on the question of gaps. What is the gap of NPR? I just want you to go on record. What is the gap of NPR in Fafe constituency? And what is the ministry doing? And give me please some timelines which I can work with. Lastly, on the issue of interventions, you have noted down a lot of things. You have been in office now for 2 years. In your reign, Bwana CS, what is the number of NPR in the last 2 years and a half? You have in the 2 years and a half you have been in office. What is the number of NPRs you have recruited in Fafi? That's one question. 2. Are you aware that Galmagala is a police station with an OCS?
Was that part of the question?
No, it's part of the interventions. I'm just asking what he has done on the interventions.
Just to guide,
Yes.
You know, of course, when we do invite the CS or any other officer, we normally furnish them because, you know, they had also to ask from the other officers. So the issue of the police station was part of the question as well. So that we stick to...
I'm heading there. I want to ask him on the interventions because he said there's QRU formed, all those things. I want to ask him on the police stations, because this is part of interventions. There's a police station serving a whole division. Does it have a vehicle? It's an intervention. In the 2 years you have in office, do you have a vehicle in that police station